Halo on the Wii. If only Nintendo had a hardcore series like Halo to change the narrative for the system from being a party console with a few good first-party titles to being geared towards every gamer. Introducing the Conduit. In the Conduit, you play as Agent Michael Ford working for a shadowy organization called the Trust as you battle alien invaders in a post-apocalyptic Washington, D.C. How many enemies will we destroy across the 9 campaign levels? And can the game deliver on its Halo inspiration? Find out on this episode of Nintendo Kill Count as we track every enemy we kill as we save the United States from certain destruction. And of course, as always, major spoilers ahead. Level 1 begins with a disembodied voice talking to our character Michael, giving us the obligatory tutorial on player controls, while also introducing game mechanics like the ASE and enemy portals. ASE is your magic 8-ball Cortana used to interact with the environment, allowing you to do things like unlock doors, highlight enemy mines, and reveal invisible enemies. Portals constantly spawn alien enemies called the Drudge, but the majority of portals can be destroyed if damaged enough. Level 2 is a flashback to 5 days previous, with Michael receiving an assignment from the leader of the Trust, John Adams. Your mission is to disrupt an alien terrorist named Prometheus, whose invasion is endangering the entire DC area. As you progress, Adams informs you that the president himself will have a direct link to your visor, which just kills me to think about. Can you imagine President Biden watching an agent go on a one-man rampage killing aliens through the streets of DC? At the end of the mission, Adams pulls an Uno reverse card and abandons you to the Drudge invaders, but you are saved by the terrorist Prometheus, who communicates with you through the ASE. Prometheus explains that you've been duped. Adams and the Trust have tricked the president into thinking Prometheus was the enemy, when all along they were behind the alien attacks. You spend the next couple of levels helping Prometheus, killing hundreds of enemy Drudge and Trust agents as you seek to find and destroy the Drudge Nest and keep the ASE away from the traitorous Adams. After destroying the Drudge Nest, you discover another plot twist. Prometheus was the template of all the alien Drudge you've been fighting. Adams used him to create the Drudge army, and Prometheus has been using the ASE to try and rally any resistance against him. Prometheus asks you to destroy him so that Adams can't use him to create any new enemy alien armies. Obliging his final request, you blow up the facility with Prometheus inside and escape through an elevator to confront Adams. Eventually, you are locked in a bunker that is self-destructing when Prometheus starts communicating with you again through the ASE. Apparently his body was destroyed, but right before dying, he uploaded his consciousness to the ASE and can still communicate with you. With his help, you are able to reroute power to the conduits, which allow you to teleport out of the area and escape. As the credits roll, dialogue begins between Adams and his boss, which sets up the inevitable sequel. If the story sounds a little convoluted and cliché, well, it is. But how does the game feel to play almost 15 years after release? The answer to that is mixed. One thing the Conduit excels at is its weapon variety. Here, the original Halo comparison is apt, as both games have exciting alien weapons to pick up and try. Many of the alien guns have an alternate fire option that completely changes how they function, further enhancing the gameplay. This weapon variety is good because the levels themselves are pretty basic. Gray, gloomy indoor corridors connecting larger rooms together, often with little room for exploration from the main path. The enemies too just feel a little vanilla, and when reflecting on the campaign as a whole, there are no standout wow moments. Okay, I take that back. There are a few such moments, but unfortunately, it's because of a steep difficulty spike. On multiple occasions, I would come to a room where the enemies would overwhelm me, resulting in multiple deaths. This was more frustrating than anything else, and I never felt a sense of accomplishment when finally beating those sections. An unexpected quality of life feature is the ability to remap your controls to basically anything. From what I remember, this was incredibly rare for Wii games. Heck, most modern Nintendo games don't even have this ability, and I have to give the Conduit props for going above and beyond in this department. My only complaint with the controls is that they feel a little clunky compared to other shooters on the Wii like GoldenEye, with the aim down sights being especially awkward to use. Another strange but welcome inclusion are achievements. Unlike Sony and Xbox, Nintendo has never embraced the idea of achievements, so it's neat that the game keeps track of some milestones you achieve and rewards you with cosmetic unlockables and access to concept art. Speaking of tracking milestones, my single favorite feature of the Conduit is that at the end of every mission, it spits out a beautiful spreadsheet, detailing exactly how many enemies you killed. This saved me countless, tedious hours, and I selfishly wish for the purpose of this channel that every game had this feature. One final note, the multiplayer servers have long since been offline, so I can't judge that aspect of the game. To sum up my thoughts, I would describe the Conduit as a fun shooter on a console that was desperate for titles like this, standouts from the typical party game frenzy that the Wii was known for. And visually, for a Wii game, always have to add that caveat, it actually looks pretty fantastic. It may not come across in the footage, but the environments are crisper than other games, and some of the fire and other effects hold up well. Ultimately, does the Conduit fulfill its potential as Nintendo's Halo? Absolutely not. There's just too many small issues that keep it from being a great game, and it didn't come out early enough to be a pioneer in the genre. That being said, it is still a fun, if generic, Wii shooter that I recommend playing. So what's the final kill tally? In total, as Special Agent Michael Ford, we killed 308 drones, 4 invaders, 32 medmites, 167 paramites, 245 puppet humans, 22 scarabs, 18 skimmers, 12 storm scarabs, 311 termites, 53 thermites, and 205 trussed humans. This brings the grand total to 1,377 enemies, dethroning Link from the original Legend of Zelda as the biggest killer to date. Honestly, I was pretty shocked. I just didn't expect 9 campaign levels to be enough to topple Link from his murderous throne. The game ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, and had a post-credit scene that rivals any Marvel movie. Thankfully, they did end up making a sequel, so they can tie up the story with a neat little bow. To conclude this video, please enjoy the end credit scene from the Conduit.